All right, the Sunday Roundtable set to go now. We're joined by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. All right, you both heard Anthony Amore. Does he have a fighting chance for an office that has been dominated by Democrats now for 8 decades, Marianne?
He did better on the pop quiz than he's going to do in November, okay? But
4 for 4.
He was very impressive, let me tell you. Look, I hope more Republicans like him start running for office again, but this is not the year for any Republican in Massachusetts to win anything. People won't do it.
I think he has a really good chance. He's a Republican who can win in a year when people are going to be looking for reasons to vote against Joe Biden here, but the rest of the races are likely to be blowouts. Here's the thing. He's running on a powerful message. The only Republican who can check a state house that will be dominated by most likely Democratic governor, all the other constitutional offices, and the legislature. That's a very powerful message. But he needs to raise money. He's got to outspend the Democrat 2-1. He hasn't shown an ability to do that yet. Republican donors have to pony up for him or he won't win.
And I don't think they will for that race.
Do you think Charlie Baker will step in and help him in the end?
He is helping him. He's going to have to help him more, a lot more.
A lot more.
So the races are now set in both parties in Massachusetts. Will money win the top tier? You sort of addressed this already, Rob. In the governor, lieutenant governor, the attorney general, secretary of state, and state auditor in just 3 months.
I don't think money is going to tell the story. I mean, remember, we have a self-finance candidate for attorney general who's not leading in the polls right now. We'll see how that plays out. But listen, money follows good candidates, okay? So you're not going to raise money if you're not a good candidate. They go hand in hand.
What about you, Marianne?
Yeah, Rob's absolutely right. I mean, in this campaign, this election cycle, the better the candidate, the better the fundraising. And you've seen it in the polls, especially in the governor's race and the attorney general's race. Maura Healey raising tons of money, triple digits above her closest competitor. Same in the Attorney General's office, Andrea Campbell raising more money than anybody, way ahead. The other races, it's a little closer, but this is one of the cycles where the better you are as a candidate, the better you're doing as fundraising, and that is a huge advantage in these races.
All right, as if the Boston police don't have enough controversies already on the books, they have now added a new drone aircraft to their fleet, quietly buying an 8th drone. Black and brown communities in the city say they're going to be targeted disproportionately. So what takes priority here? Rob, I'll start with you on this one. Public security or Fourth Amendment rights?
Well, let's have more cops, not more surveillance. I mean, this is not China. And this is the problem with people who say defund the police. When there's not enough cops on the street, they go out and buy technology. It was scary what we saw in China with these COVID crackdowns, with robots, with cameras and drones.
Most folks would say
going through the
Boston's
streets,
not
scaring people.
Shanghai.
No, but that's where we're headed. That's where technology is headed. So more cops, not more cameras.
Marianne?
If you're just going to use drones, as you claim, for crime reconstruction and big event surveillance, then why not say that? But they were so sketchy about the whole thing that it invites suspicion by everybody. So I don't understand why they hid this. Now they've hurt themselves again, and people have right to be skeptical of the Boston police for a whole host of reasons in addition to the drones.
So before COVID, there already were anti-vaxxers, parents who refused measles, tetanus, and other state-mandated vaccines for their kids. Now the legislature wants to eliminate religious exemptions to the law. COVID vaccines, of course, wouldn't fall under this new proposed mandate since it's not mandated. Is this a medical issue, a political issue, or a personal freedom issue, Marianne?
Well, it's all of the above for all the wrong reasons. I mean, the fact is, one of the great things about this country is you can't impose your religion on me. And when you decide because of religious beliefs you're not going to get a vaccine, you're imposing your religion on me because you are making me and others, the public at large, susceptible to those illnesses that you'd say are against your religion. That's not how this country works. And especially right now, given our democracy and the threat to it, we have to be more, more stringent about these things. And COVID should be part of that too.
And we've seen a couple of examples with measles outbreaks this past year or so. Rob, where do you stand on this?
Well, it's a corrupt loophole, the religious exemption. Marianne is right. There are 2 religions in this country that have doctrines against vaccines. They represent 1/100th of 1% of the population of this country, if that. So it's long overdue that Massachusetts gets rid of this. Many other states have done it. We should do it.
All right, State Education Commissioner Jeff Riley says the state will not be providing COVID testing resources to school districts this coming school year. Instead, he's telling superintendents they have to come up with their own symptomatic rapid testing program. I will tell you, as a parent of school-age children, I think I'm the only one at this table right now, parents are probably happy, well, Rob is, to get rid of the asymptomatic testing, because in many cases you're finding things you don't want found. Is it the right move at the right time, Marianne?
How much damage is Jeff Riley going to do on his way out the door? I mean, first he's trying to blow up the Boston Public Schools with everything he's doing to Michelle Wu, and I would say, buddy, you want to be superintendent of Boston Public Schools? Apply for the job and compete like everybody else. Now he's blowing up the testing system when, you know, kids get on regional buses and they don't know they're in different towns. So he's blowing that up too. When he had the opportunity to put new HVAC systems in every single public school in Massachusetts, and he chose not to. So he's not a doctor, and he's not the Boston Public, superintendent of schools, and he is just burning down the house on his way out.
Rob?
I mean, I think the state should see it through at least through January and provide the resources if local school districts need it. But let's face it, there are overzealous superintendents and public health commissions in towns and cities across the state that are still requiring mandating kids to wear masks in schools, which is ridiculous at this point. So the state has to have a role of reasonableness, and I don't think they've stepped up enough on that.
Well, one thing, this past weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we have 5 times as many cases of COVID in this country as we did last Memorial Day weekend.
But you're decoupling the hospitalizations and deaths from the rising case
numbers. But COVID is COVID, and now we're finding out it does a lot more damage than everyone thought, like the mild Omicron would do.
Here's the thing, Ben and I can tell you, it's hurting kids being in these masks for this long. It's unnecessary. The town next door, it's not happening. Mayor Wu and the other public officials who are mandating this, they should be ashamed at this point.
Kids getting COVID isn't good either.
The round table's heated.